Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but no matter what, your life doesn't seem to move forward? Maybe you're reading the books, you're listening to the podcasts, you're staying positive, you're trying so hard to change, and somehow the results still look the same. If that sounds familiar, it's not because you're broken. It's because you're programmed. And today, we're going to break open the hidden mechanism that determines 95% of your daily thoughts, your daily decisions, your emotions, and your outcomes. And by the end of today's session, you'll walk away with a crystal clear understanding of why your life keeps repeating patterns. You'll walk away with the tools to reprogram your subconscious mind, along with a step-by-step daily system for upgrading your identity, as well as the confidence to start attracting the opportunities you've been waiting for. Plus, you'll want to stay until the end because I've got a free giveaway that'll help you along the way. So, take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and let's begin this transformation together. Welcome to the 7 Secrets to Rewire Your Mind and Attract What You Want. Did you know that your mindset actually controls everything? I've experienced in my own life that you don't get what you want in life. You get what you are. This can be one of the hardest truths, but it's also one of the most liberating. It's not what you hope for. It's not what you pray for. It's not what you work hard for. You actually get what your deep internal programming believes is normal, safe, and familiar. Bob Proctor, one of my greatest mentors, used to say, your paradigm controls your logic, your habits, your actions, and your results. You see, I've learned that your paradigm was formed before you could even think for yourself. And science backs this up and tells us that this is between usually the ages of 0 to 7. Your brain at that age is what's called a state of theta. That means that everything went straight into your subconscious without a filter. Things like how your parents talked about money, how they handled stress or conflict, whether success was seen as possible or dangerous, whether love felt consistent or inconsistent, and whether risks were encouraged or punished, whether abundance was normal or unrealistic. Those early experiences didn't just influence you, they programmed you. So today, if you've been trying so hard to change and somehow the results still look the same, we're going to help you shift your mindset, rewrite your paradigm, and step into a new level of success. Let me give you a quick example here. We have 2 kids, grow up in different households. First kid has money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. People like us don't get ahead. The second kid has, there's always a way. You can learn anything. Success is built, not given. 25 years later, one believes the opportunities are scarce, the other sees possibilities everywhere. Same world, different programming. That's how powerful your paradigm is. Let me tell you a personal story. Years ago, long before I ever thought of coaching, I kept hitting this invisible income ceiling. Maybe you've experienced this too. No matter how hard you work, no matter how many hours you put in, your income stays at the same level. And that reminds me of back when I was a musician back in Liverpool, England. I lived in a constant feast or famine cycle. One month, I'm playing gigs, I'm on tour, I'm living the dream and earning money, I'm feeling great. The next month, maybe there's nothing around, I'm back to scraping by. And then I moved into real estate when I came to the States and I dressed well, learned the whole game. And guess what? The same pattern followed me. Money in, money out, rise a little, fall back down. It didn't matter how hard I pushed. Something always pulled me back to a certain level. And one day I finally realized that invisible wall, that ceiling, that rubber band that kept on snapping me back. It was my paradigm, my old identity. The one that was actually formed back in my early childhood kept whispering, John, you're $100 a gig musician, which was crazy because on tours, I would earn a lot more than that. However, that little voice kept on saying, don't get too big, don't expect too much, play it safe. And because identity drives behavior, I kept unconsciously creating situations that matched the old version of me. Have you ever done that? You know, you get ahead, then you sabotage it. You attract something good, and then you lose it. You make progress and then slide back into old habits. That's your paradigm trying to protect the familiar. It's not punishing you. It's actually trying to keep you safe. But familiar doesn't mean good. It doesn't mean successful. To break that cycle, you must rewrite the program. Let's for a moment just clarify the word paradigm. People hear it a lot. Most people don't understand it. And I know I didn't at first. Your paradigm basically is your beliefs, your habits, your self-image, your emotional set point. It's also your default reactions, your inner dialogue, your identity, all combined into one automatic pilot system. It controls things like what you believe is possible, how you interpret opportunities, what you think you deserve, and how you respond to fear or risk, as well as which goals you pursue, which goals you abandon, which relationship you tolerate, as well as how much money you allow yourself to actually have. Your paradigm is like a software on your phone. If the software is outdated, the apps mess up. Basically, the system freezes and nothing loads properly. The problem isn't the phone, it's the programming. Most people are trying to upgrade their life while running mental software from childhood. Imagine trying to run 2025 app on a Windows 95. That's what most people are doing. But today, we're going to update the system. Let's talk about something really important before we actually move on. There's a lot of confusion around the law of attraction. People say, I'm visualizing, I'm saying affirmations, I'm thinking positive thoughts. But here's the truth. The law of attraction does not respond to your thoughts. It responds to your identity and your dominant emotional frequency. Your paradigm, not your conscious mind, broadcasts your signal to the universe. Let me illustrate with a quick story. A lady I was talking to once told me, she said, John, I affirm every day that I'm wealthy, but nothing's changing. So I asked her, I said, when you say those words, how do you actually feel? She was quiet for a moment and said, like a liar? There's the problem. You can say I'm wealthy, but if you feel broke, stressed, unworthy, or doubtful, your subconscious wins every time. Your vibration wins, your paradigm wins. And the law of attraction mirrors your vibration, not your words. It's like trying to broadcast one radio station while your internal dial is tuned to another. You don't attract what you want, you attract what your subconscious believes is normal. That's why our job isn't just to think positive. It's to become the person for whom the positive outcome is natural. And once our identity aligns with our desire, everything accelerates. You see, there's 3 core areas that tend to keep us stuck. Number 1 would be your self-image. You will never outperform the way you see yourself. If your self-image is small, you will shrink your dreams to match it. If your self-image is strong, you will stretch to meet bigger opportunities. Your self-image is the thermostat of your life. Set it low, your results cool down. Set it high, and your results heat up. Number 2 is what I call your money blueprint. Everyone has an internal financial thermostat. In fact, T. Harv Eker says, give him 5 minutes and he'll predict your financial future for the rest of your life. He does this by asking you questions to see where your paradigm is programmed. If you're programmed at, say, 30 or 50 or even 100,000 a year, even when you jump to, say, 80,000 or 200,000, you'll find a way to drop back down. Not consciously, but subconsciously. You see, your blueprint regulates lots of things. It allows what you allow yourself to earn, what you allow yourself to keep, and what you feel comfortable receiving. And that brings us to the number 3 in this section. It's what's known as your emotional set point. Did you know that your nervous system becomes addicted, literally, to familiar emotions, even negative ones? If stress, anxiety, or struggle were familiar growing up, your body will unconsciously recreate situations to feel those emotions again. It's amazing. Why does this happen? Because it feels familiar. It feels safe to the subconscious. So today, we're going to shift all 3. Now, to help shift all 3, we're going to use what I call 5 tools, basically. These tools will rewrite the paradigm and predict consistency. Number one is what I call the awareness audit. So awareness is the beginning of liberation. It's the key to all this paradigm shift stuff. Let me give you a quick scenario. Imagine driving with a GPS that's secretly programmed for your old address. No matter where you want to go, it keeps redirecting you back to where you've already been. That's your paradigm. So your first exercise is in our awareness audit is to ask yourself, what results in my life keep repeating? What emotions do I tend to default to under pressure? What beliefs have I inherited about money and success? And whose voice do I still hear in my head? This isn't about blame, it's about clarity. And tool number two would be what I call identity shifting. This tool is one of the most powerful principles in personal transformation that I've known. You can't create a new life from the identity that created the old one. So think about actors for a moment. When an actor prepares for a role, they change their posture, their voice, their habits, their language, and even their body movements. And eventually, their brain begins firing in ways that match that character. Your future self is actually a role that you step into. This isn't pretending, by the way. It's becoming. Here's a great exercise for what I call your future self-identity. I'd like to complete these statements. The version of me who has my dream life thinks like. That could be thinks like a creator, not a victim. It could be sees problems as puzzles to solve, not proof they're stuck. They think in terms of possibility, not limitation. They assume things are working out, even when the evidence isn't there yet. They think big, they dream boldly, and they trust that ideas are divine assignments, which they are. They ask powerful questions like, how would the highest version of me respond right now? They believe that the universe is friendly and abundant, and it's their birthright, which it is. This version speaks with clarity, confidence, and certainty. They affirm that they are becoming not what they used to be. They say things like, I'm figuring it out. The things are always working out for me. Or, I'm the kind of person who follows through, because they know. Words cast spells, so they choose theirs like conscious magicians. They act like the outcome is already done. They show up even when they're not in the mood, because they are led by vision, not emotion. They act and confidence follows. They invest time wisely. They set boundaries around their energy, time, and attention. They take aligned, inspired action, trusting the nudge, making the call, sending the pitch, recording the video, because they know action is the bridge between the visible and the invisible. So they say each and every day, this version of me believes I am worthy of every good thing I desire. Wealth and success are natural extensions of who I am. My past does not define me, my decisions do. They believe that setbacks are setups for comebacks. They believe that identity creates destiny, and because they believe differently, they receive differently. Identity first, results second. When you adopt that mindset, the language, the behaviors, and the beliefs of the vision of you, the person who already has it, you become magnetic. Your frequency shifts and the world responds. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And who you are is a decision you make daily. Identity first, results second. So, our third tool is what's known as the emotional rehearsal. Science has proved that your brain actually cannot tell the difference between an event that you imagine vividly and an event that actually happens. There's a famous study of athletes who visualized practicing and improved almost as much as those who physically practiced. Amazing. That's how powerful emotional rehearsal is. So every morning, I want you to close your eyes, slow your breathing, and feel the reality that you actually want. Focus on the emotion, an emotion of what does freedom feel like? What does confidence feel like in my body? What does peace feel like? and feel how that would feel like. By doing this, you're teaching your nervous system that the future you want is safe and familiar. And so, for number 4 is our daily repetition. You see, your paradigm was built through repetition. So, we rewrite it in the same way. Repetition creates familiarity. Familiarity creates identity. And identity creates results. But remember, affirmations are not magic. They work when you say them with feeling. Try this. I'm becoming the person who attracts my highest good easily and consistently. Or I am no longer the person who struggles. I am the person who creates abundance. Say them and feel them like you mean them. Say them like your future depends on it, because in many ways, I gotta be honest, it does. So the final tool I use is inspired action. This is the piece that most people skip. You can't wait until you're into a new reality. You must move your way into it. Not a desperate movement, not a busy movement, not a chaotic movement, but in an inspired movement. A movement that comes from your future identity, not your past one. Every morning ask yourself, what would the successful version of me do today? Then whether it feels comfortable or not, just do it. So here's your 10-minute morning system that rewires your paradigm. Number 1, breathe and become present. This actually signals your nervous system that you're safe. Number 2 would be speak like the person you're becoming. Number 3 would be have what I call an emotional rehearsal. Don't just say them, feel the emotions of your new reality. Number 4, write one paragraph as if your dream is already happening. This is what I call future self journaling. Number 5 would be your inspired action. Choose one identity aligned action for that day. Believe me, 30 days of this and your paradigm won't stand a chance. And a new identity would take over. Look, your old paradigm was installed without your permission, but your new paradigm, that's a whole different story. You get to choose that. You get to build that. You get to design that. You're not stuck. You're not behind. You're simply programmed. And programming can be changed. I'm proud of you for being here and taking the time to actually watch this video, for showing up for yourself, for stepping into the version of you that's been waiting patiently for years. And remember, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So become the version of you who attracts abundance naturally. Speak like them, move like them, decide like them, and watch the universe rearrange itself to match your new identity. If you want to go deeper, subscribe and hit the bell and get notifications of my videos. And leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Download the free workbook linked below. I'll guide you step by step through each exercise. Your new reality will start today, so let's step into it together and download my free workbook to help you get along. Until next time, this is John Williams reminding you that your vision, your beliefs, and your emotions are creating your future right now. Choose wisely, live abundantly, keep dreaming big, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.